All right, so welcome. Thanks for joining us today this afternoon. And thank you for your flexibility too. I know originally we were supposed to be in person, but there were some last minute room scheduling issues, so we decided to switch over to Zoom. So today's agenda, first, you'll get a chance to meet Viva and I, and then we'll do a program overview, talk a bit about the Joint Institute in Shanghai. Then we'll get into academics. We'll talk a bit about housing, some excursions that are included in the program. We'll go over budgeting finances, give you a general timeline of what to expect, and then we'll also provide some next steps for you all as well. So for those who don't know, my name is Tiffany Coman. So I am an International Programs Advisor Coordinator for IPE here at the University of Michigan. I'm also the lead advisor for this program. And then I'm joined today by Viva, our lovely guest from the Joint Institute, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Oh, hi, everyone. My name is Viva, but yeah, you can all call me Viva. So I am the manager of the International Programs Office at the Joint Institute. So the Joint Institute is a partnership with University of Michigan and Shanghai Jiaotong University back in 17 years ago. So when you were coming to Shanghai that year, so this year will be our 18th birthday. So welcome you all to Shanghai. And then join us in the summer. I'm sure we're gonna have a good time together.
Yes, wonderful. Yes. So I'll be your sort of primary contact on the UMich side of things, and then Viva will be the main contact once you start to get rolling with working with the Joint Institute a bit more closely, and then of course once we're on site in Shanghai.
Yes.
So a quick program overview. In case you haven't seen on our website, the program dates are slated for May 9th through August 10th. So it will be about 12-13 weeks. It will take up a majority of your summer break. Program fee has been set at $5,205, and we'll go over a bit more about what's included in the program fee later on. The final application deadline for those of you who have not submitted your application yet is coming up here on February 8th. And then the program orientation date is going to be March 23rd. And then the key eligibility requirements, 3.0 or above GPA, good academic standing, so not on academic probation, and then a passport that is valid for at least 6 months after that program end date in August. So if you do not currently have a passport that meets those requirements, make sure you are in the process of renewing it and get that renewal going before February 8th. All right, so just a quick overview of the Joint Institute. Viva already gave us a little bit of information in the beginning, but the Joint Institute at SJTU is a partnership between the University of Michigan and Shanghai Jiaotong University. Something that's really neat is this is really the University of Michigan's only partnership like this that really exists anywhere in the world. So the University of Michigan does not do satellite campuses or things like that, with the exception of this Joint Institute. And it was originally created, it was just an engineering school, but it's also expanded now to include some business courses, science courses, and also a partnership with our School of Information. And as Viva mentioned, it started in 2006 and it has just been growing ever since. And then I'll let Viva give you some quick facts about the Joint Institute next.
So of course, Shanghai Jiaotong University has many campuses, and then under the umbrella supervision of Shanghai Jiaotong University, but the Joint Institute is mainly located in our Minhang campus. So that's the main campus of Shanghai Jiaotong University since we switched or moved most of our departments and schools and institutes to Minhang. So Minhang hosted most of our undergraduate students. Actually, almost all the undergraduate students are in Minhang. So, in addition, and except to some students from the medical school and then to School of Law and Business, in the senior years, they're going to move to downtown campus because it's easier for them to find an internship and do business in Shanghai. But most of the programs are in Shanghai. Are in Minhang. Most of the undergraduate programs. So if you have friends and studying in Shanghai Jiaotong University, most of the time you're gonna spend the summer with them in Minhang. And then Joint Institute has about 1,200 undergraduate students, and then in addition to like two to 300 graduate students, including masters and PhD students. So that's in terms of a population is the third largest school in Shanghai Jiao Tong University, only next to School of ME and School of EE. Those two are the biggest schools, Shanghai Jiao Tong University. And then since 2008, that was the funding year of the Joint Institute. And then we have been graduating students in the year 2010. And then up till now, we have about a little bit more than 3,000 alumni, actively working in the United States and in China, or in many other parts of the world. And you might know, if you are an engineering student, you might know lots of JI students because we have this very big program with Michigan that we are sending 100 students to College of Engineering and every year. So if you know some of the Chinese students, most likely they are coming from JI. And we have about 60 faculty members, 50 of them are international, has international background or international citizens. So mainly teaching engineering, and then of course, as Tiffany said, we are providing lots of courses in science, of course, and then in humanities, social science, and then personal development. So when you come into Shanghai, you don't have to take engineering courses only. You have lots of choices and options in terms of course enrollment. So personally, I'm teaching one of the very interesting courses at the Joint Institute. That's the Chinese cultural course, Introduction to Chinese Culture. So feel free to join me in my course. But just like I said, we offer language courses in Chinese, and then so if you want to learn some Chinese, that's okay. You can do that at the Joint Institute as well. And then in the middle of the screen, you see a blue tiger. That is our mascot. So everything at JI is lots of blue tiger related items or things. So just so you know, that is our mascot. So this is just a really quick facts of the Joint Institute. And then when we continue our presentation, if we come across other interesting things, I'm gonna speak up. But Tiffany can take up the microphone now.
Yes, thank you, Viva. All right.
Mhm.
So your destination will be Shanghai. Viva's definitely more of an expert than I am, but it really is known as the best city to understand modern China. So you can travel pretty easily throughout the city with the metro, the Didi, and shared bikes. And the cuisine is amazing, so a fusion of like local Shanghai food as well as other regions of China well represented, and then also international food as well, since it is such a metropolitan city. And then also a pretty cosmopolitan lifestyle, so it's a very dense city, very rich, and very modern. And then you can kind of see some pictures there of the skyline, of the food, of some of the different architecture, of some things that you can potentially see while you're there this summer. All right, so we'll get into academics. So linked there, and I'll share a copy of these slides with all the links afterwards, so you'll have access to this. But linked there in the top bullet is the summer 2024 tentative course list. There's about, I think, over 70 courses on that list, so definitely plenty to choose from. Some highlights and some courses that were popular with students in the past include EECS 280, EECS 281, couple of calc courses, and then MECH-Eng 235. So you can take a total of 6 to 12 credits total, so you can kind of mix and match. As Viva mentioned, you don't have to only take engineering courses or technical courses. You can definitely take some non-technical, more cultural or humanities style courses as well. So IPE, we recommend that you choose one technical course, so like either an engineering course or a physics course or a math course, and then pair that with one non-technical course. This is just because students in the past have noted that the engineering courses, the math courses at the Joint Institute can be pretty rigorous, and you are studying abroad, so you want to make sure that you have plenty of time to travel, explore, hang out with friends, and so you're not spending all of your time just like studying or doing homework. We definitely recommend a lighter course load, but of course it's totally up to you. So I also encourage you to work with your own academic advisor to assess what might be the best course of action for the courses you take this summer, and then make sure you stay within those 6 to 12 credits. So for the course registration process, on your application, you do note a couple of courses of interest, but you are definitely not married to those courses. Those are not binding. The formal registration process will start a bit later in mid to late April. So by then, once all of the students are accepted and confirmed for the program, Viva's team at the Joint Institute will start reaching out about the official registration process. And it's also important to note that their team will not be enforcing any prerequisite courses for the courses you choose. However, IPE really strongly recommends that you complete any of the listed prereqs. We also will be reviewing your course selections to ensure that you have taken prereqs, especially for some of those technical courses or math courses or things like that, just to make sure that you're set up for success in the class and that you're not taking anything that you're not fully prepared for. An important note, however, is that if you are not a College of Engineering student, you need to consult with your homeschool advisor about transfer credit process, how the courses will transfer to your degree, and then if certain courses will transfer for you, because the courses listed here and the Google sheet that's linked, those are only College of Engineering equivalencies. So if you're in LSA, if you're in Ross, if you're in any other school, it's really important that you touch base with your homeschool academic advisor to understand how that transfer credit process will look like for you. All right, and then next, I'll turn it back over to Viva to talk a little bit more about the housing you'll be staying in.
Since 2020, I think that was the year when this new housing facility of our campus, Nanyang Beiyuan. So Nanyang is then follows the name of the founding college of Shanghai Jiao Tong University since it started. So Nanyang was the name of the college since the very early time of the university. And Beiyuan refers to it as a facility to the north of the campus. So for Chinese characters, easy to remember. Nanyang Beiyuan is the name of the facility that you are going to stay in the summer of 2024. So it's a brand new facility. It only starts operation for about 2 to 3 years, and then you have share rooms. Everybody will be staying in the same type of rooms. It's a share room in a suite. So one suite including one living room and one bathroom and 2 single rooms. So everybody will be living in a single room, and but 2 of you will be sharing a suite in Nanyang Beiyuan. And then it's a Western style bathroom is inside your dorm, and then front desk staff will be available 24 hours and 7 days. So nonstop, they're going to be there to help you if you have any questions regarding your rooms and regarding everything else. But sometimes they don't really speak Chinese. They don't really speak English. They will have so China, of course, we have this WeChat going on, WeChat stuff going on. So we're going to create a group on WeChat, and every one of you will be invited to this group. So sometimes they're going to share very important messages in the group chat. But if you go to the front desk, if you have any questions at midnight, there will be people there to help you. Just so to be careful, sometimes they don't speak very good English. That's it. And then so this is a whole new facility, so it's kind of like another campus, like just for students to stay in, just for international students, and some of the faculty members and staff members to once they started at SJTU in the first few years, they are allowed to rent a room at Nanyang Beiyuan. So it's only SJTU students, faculty, and staff will be able to use this place. So safety-wise, it is really okay, manageable. So you don't have to worry about anything like anything like that. Okay, so because it's a brand new facility, there will be there is a canteen available in Nanyang Beiyuan, and there's a coffee shop, and then several sports facilities, including tennis court, the running track, and basketball courts. Everything like that will be available inside this Nanyang Beiyuan. Okay, and then yeah, laundry and drying machines are available in Nanyang Beiyuan as well. But just so you know, it is not right on Minhang campus. You're gonna have to walk a little bit to the campus. If you are a walker, like if you likes to walk, then it's a very nice 15 minutes walk from Nanyang Beiyuan to our to the gate. The closest gate to the campus to Nanyang Beiyuan is the north third gate. But DD and the share bikes are very, very popular in Shanghai and then in China. So you can always get the monthly shared bike card for about 30 RMB. So you can just ride a share bike with unlimited times. So most of the time, the students will take a shared bike to the campus, which if you do that, it will be like 10 minutes. So in between the campus and the Nanyang Beiyuan, there is a train track, but the train track is not like frequently used because in this area it used to be an industrial area, but we kind of moved all those companies and corporations and manufacturing sites to the other side of the city. So we don't have that many manufacturing sites left on this side. So the train track is not frequently used. And then SJTU and then the local government build a highway, like to how do you say that, the highway to that you can go past the train track to go directly to the campus. So safety wise, it is really okay. And then 15 minutes walk, a little bit longer than that. If you just go to the north third gate, it will be 15 minutes. But if you want to go to the JI building or the teaching buildings, it will be a little bit longer. So I would recommend you to get a monthly card for DD, and then it will save a lot of time for you. But that's a very short introduction of the Nanyang Beiyuan. I can share more more pictures with you a little bit later with the room, and then the facilities a little bit later. Okay.
Great, thanks, Viva. All right, and then next, you want to talk a bit about some activities and excursions included in the program. A lot of people are curious.
Yes. So Shanghai in the summer is a very interesting and a very nice place to stay in, although it could be really, really hot and then really, really humid. It's totally different with the weather, like in Ann Arbor. It's cold and dry, but in Shanghai summer it's going to be huge, hot, humid, and lots of rains in a certain period of the summer. We call it a plum rain season. If you're coming from China, you might be familiar with the term, but just a heads up, the weather could be terrible at the beginning, but most of the time it will be okay. So summer, of course, if you're first to Shanghai or haven't been to Shanghai for many years, we're gonna arrange a Shanghai tour to see a very interesting, very exciting part of Shanghai, including the Bund area, including the third tallest building in the world, that's the Shanghai Center. And then Yu Garden, of course. So we're gonna, take you to visit the modern side of Shanghai as well as the old part of Shanghai. Okay, so that's gonna happening on the first few days, and then I'm gonna take you out for a neighboring city tour. Past fall, we took students out to Hangzhou. To visit one of the interesting places in Hangzhou, but that was just for one day. But we are planning for a stay over kind of a trip in the summer. And then normally we're going to take students out to to visit Yellow Mountain. That is one of the most fascinating mountains in China. but last fall we took students out to Beijing. So we're gonna decide. It's up to your opinions. Your opinions matter as well. So just to let us know the two places, which one do you want to visit, and then we can, kind of change our plans. But right now it is still Yellow Mountain. Okay, and then those are like the three major tours that we're gonna take you out. And then, of course, on campus and then outside of campus in the city of Shanghai, we're going to do lots of very interesting things. For example, of the Chinese cultural class, we're going to take our students to join a Chinese cooking class, but not just for the students who are taking the cultural class, but available to students from from the whole group. Okay, they're gonna do that, and we're gonna summer we're gonna have this Dragon Ball Festival celebration. So we are going to recruit students for the Dragon Ball team just for 1 or 2 times. Okay, so lots of things like that will be happening on campus. So please be excited about the upcoming summer, which is going to be very interesting and fun for you. So that is a very short introduction of the activities and excursions. Of course, we have welcoming receptions. Of course, when you're leaving, we're gonna have this farewell party and then lots of parties. Okay, but I'm not gonna be very detailed here, but yeah, we'll see.
Yes, great. And
Right,
then
Tiffany.
yes. And then to note too as well, for those of you who do apply and confirm your participation, we will have a pre-departure orientation where we can talk about like some of these things a lot more in depth. And then as Viva mentioned, if you have any ideas or things you're really interested in doing, you can also share that with her then.
Yeah.
All right. So next is for probably the least fun part, talking about finances and budgeting. So as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, the program fee is set at a little bit over $5,200 for 2024. And that includes all of your tuition. So no matter if you take anywhere from the 6 to 12 credits, that'll include the tuition costs for you. It'll include all of your housing costs, so you don't have to pay anything separate for your housing. It includes all of those cultural activities and excursions that Viva just mentioned in the previous slide. So those are included. It includes your mandatory international health insurance. It includes all of your orientation activities, both through IPE and then also once you arrive on site. And then it also includes airport pickup, which Viva and her team will help arrange for you when you arrive in May. However, the $5,205 are not the only costs that you should anticipate. You should also budget for some additional things. Most notably, airfare is not included in your program fee, and it can be quite expensive to get from anywhere in the States really to Shanghai. So we have maybe around $2,000 or so with all of the extra fees to budget for airfare. Meals will really it can really vary depending on your lifestyle and if you like to eat out a lot or if you like to cook or if you just eat like a lot of street food. But you should also budget for your meals, budget for your local transportation. So like taking the metro, if you do like the shared bike service that Viva mentioned earlier, budgeting for that. You'll also want to budget for your visa fees. So IPE will be working with you later in this semester for those of you who need visas. But we will be partnering with a visa processing company, and they've estimated around $300 or so for the visa fees. And then personal expenses truly vary depending on your lifestyle. So if you know you're someone, you like to travel a lot, you like to go shopping, you like to eat out a lot, your personal expenses are going to be quite higher than someone who maybe stays local a bit more, doesn't travel quite as frequently, doesn't eat out quite as frequently. But I will also, we have the budget sheet linked later in the presentation where you can kind of get an idea of where to start for some of that personal expense budgeting. So once you've reviewed kind of the program fees and budgets, we'll also highlight some funding and scholarship opportunities for you. So I'll talk about how to work with the Office of Financial Aid a little bit later on, but they're really the great first step for your budget planning. They can help you get an idea of what type of aid you might be eligible for through the university. So highly recommend working with them first. And then you can kind of branch out to some different funding and scholarship opportunities. So for example, we have our China Rogel Scholarship. So this is only open to College of Engineering students. And the fun thing about this is no additional application is necessary. So our team will automatically consider any eligible student who is participating on this program for the China Rogel Scholarship. And the funds will vary kind of based on like how much financial aid you're already receiving, how many students are eligible, that sort of thing. If you're in the College of Engineering, there's also the Office of Student Affairs First Gen and Middle Income Scholarship. In these scholarships, they award on a monthly basis. I believe the next deadline is around February, early February. But these can be used towards study abroad. They also have funding available if you're doing other experiential things like research projects, that sort of thing. IPE also has paid blogger positions. So in March, once all of our students are accepted and confirmed, you'll get some outreach from our marketing coordinator, Katie, about the blogger position, and you'll have a couple of weeks to apply. The blogger positions can be a little bit competitive, so I wouldn't necessarily bank on getting a blogger position, just depending on how many people apply. But typically the total award is around $350 throughout the summer. So that can be money that you can use to pay for like your meals or some of those personal expenses while you're on your trip. And then I highly recommend checking out the IPE funding page that's linked here. On the very top of the page, you'll see our latest funding info session where our Assistant Director, Diane, and someone from the Office of Financial Aid talk through the process of working with financial aid, of looking for funding sources, and kind of explain how that whole process works. That page also includes a bunch of scholarship links as well. So if you're interested in seeing some funding opportunities, both inside of the university and outside of the university, highly recommend checking out the funding page too. So I'll give you a little idea of what this timeline coming up is going to look like. So as I mentioned earlier, February 8th will be the final deadline to get your application in if it's not finished. And then you'll have until February 22nd to confirm your participation. From there, we'll have our program orientation on March 23rd, where you'll get to meet all of the other program participants. And then we'll go a bit more in detail about some more of the logistics for the program. And then we're thinking early April, we'll have an entire day set aside for you to submit your visa documentation to IPE if you require a visa. And we'll send you more information on what documentation you'll need and how to submit it at that time. And then May 9th, you'll finally arrive in Shanghai. And then May 10th is when you will finalize all of your course registration and then start to get rolling on your classes and all the other activities. So next steps, complete the IPE application and then review the program budget sheet. So that has a more detailed breakdown of not just the program costs, but also additional expenses you can budget for, like I mentioned earlier, your meals, your airfare, visas, anything like that. And then I highly recommend completing the study abroad financial aid estimate worksheet. This you can submit directly to the Office of Financial Aid, and then they'll provide you with an estimate of how much in like grants, scholarships, or loans you can anticipate getting from the Central Campus Office of Financial Aid. And then also make sure that you're watching your email for any communications either from me or from the Joint Institute about any remaining requirements or next steps throughout this whole process. Important that you're not only watching your email, but reading any instructions very carefully. Just to make sure that you're on track and doing anything that's necessary to complete your participation. All right, so next I will stop recording and then we will answer a couple of questions.